now we're going to walk into where it all really starts here at Starrett, our screw machine department. I mean, most likely we're going to start with a 12-foot rod of whatever type of steel that is, even if it's aluminum, brass, 52-100, tool steel, whatever the material requires. You'll see it inventoried here. Pull it out, see some Acme, some Davenports, possibly a Brown & Sharp if we still have one out there on the floor. But what you're really going to see is what we've been doing the past 5 to 6 years is heavily investing in the automation and on the CNC screw machine. We have fell in love with Nomura Swiss lathes, so that's what you're going to be seeing on my right side as I start walking. There's going to be all of our new Nomuras. That's new technology, and it's capturing multiple operations at once. So what's really doing, it's saving us lead time as far as screw machining it on a 1980s Citizen, sending it to this department to do a secondary op, another department for a third op, so on and so forth. We can capture most of the features of that part right on the Nomura. So let's go take a look.
Okay. And I'll point out you got some raw material storage. There's coil there, aluminum, and some more raw material storage up here.
And one thing I would like to point out right over here, Mr. St. Hilaire, so all of our parts that do come out of our screw machine department, we do a certain percentage of an inspect on them. Obviously, it's just a little internal quality control we do here.
Some QC. It's more of the raw material storage right here on this side, and you were gonna point out some of our machines over here.
I'm in the way. I am in the way all day long, Adam.
No, it's all good.
You. God bless you. Yeah. So we have some old Citizens here. We actually had these down in our Mount Airy in North Carolina, where they were supporting Athol with machining some parts, but we have since moved them up here. So those are old CNCs. So now we'll start coming into the latest Nomuras we have. We won't show the drawing of the print, but what we will show you is a part. So this is actually going to be a pinion for one of our indicators.
Wow, look at that.
So we're just, profiling the different diameters, and that will go ahead and have some centerless grind done to it and some hobbing to get some gears in there and so on and so forth.
Yeah, imagine having to make these little tiny parts on a manual lathe, one after the other.
So here's a small opinion. I believe this is going to go into our 196.
Oh yeah, look at that. Can't even really see it on the video.
To the left of me are some Acmes. Currently we do not have an operator. The gentleman has since retired. These are all cam driven. And, the future manufacturers, right? They're born with that cell phone in their hand, so they want the newer technology, and so that's why we're getting away from these. But I will say this, you cannot beat their cycle times. They're pumping out parts every 5, 6, 7 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, you just,
But you would have been making the same kind of parts that we just saw over here?
Yep, and
okay.
This one specifically would have started for a outside micrometer shell.
Okay.
Is what would have come off this machine. Where it would have profiled the outside, it would have knurled it, and it would have done a ream on the inside as well. But then from there, that would have gone to about 3 or 4 other operations amongst 3 other departments. Probably would have taken about 65 days of lead time in order to get us ready to sandblast and chrome plate that. Since then though, with one of the Nomuras, which we will show you, we were able to capture all of those processes right off that Nomura. So now an outside micrometer shell comes off in a minute and a half, and it's ready to be sandblasted and chrome plated. Just new technology, streamlining, and that's what we're heavily investing here.
Wow. And
that also ties in, as I said, to the future of manufacturing in America. The younger generation, they want the bells and whistles technology, and that's what technology is now with these machining equipment. And once again, you can see the American pride we do have at Starrett. I can't say it enough. America is the greatest country in the world. We have our faults. We're all human, but you do have an opportunity in America to become anything you want. And that ties right in here to the Ellis Starrett Company. You can start entry level. You can start as a mailman, and if you have the desire, the work ethic, you can probably become CEO one day. You could really migrate up the ladder here. So it's a great place to work, great opportunity, ties in with American manufacturing.
This is your tool room?
Yes, sir. Tool crib for our screw machine.
Tool crib, okay.
Yep, tool crib. Yep, so when a job would come out, you know, you get your cover sheet on what you're making, you know, cycle times, all that type of information. Then you get a kit of your tooling.
So it's gonna have everything you need to complete your job.
All your tooling, yes. Yep, and you can even see this micrometer has been modified. We did that right here, so we had to modify our own tools to measure the parts we're making in order to build our tools.
So what was the department that you would have went to if you had a request for that mic?
This would have been Department 6, the micrometer department. Yep, and they would have actually had the capability to grind that different angle with the flat, and then the assembler would go ahead and assemble that micrometer.
Yeah, that's the special order?
Special order.
If a customer wanted that. Special order department, yep.
Yep. So, you know, kind of along the same lines we talked about with special gauging, but with special order, which we will see is, you see a tool in the catalog, you just need something slightly different, a larger angle, a larger flat. We'll go ahead and manufacture that and assemble it right here.
Very cool.
As we were talking about that Acme and the Nomura and the micrometer outside shells, so here it is. We're able to machine the start to finish, and that's ready to go up to be sandblasted, chrome plated, and then obviously laser marked for the graduation Starrett brand. Our concern though was the finish. As you well know, any type of defect on the chrome plate, before you chrome plate it, that chrome is just going to make it pop. So we were really concerned if we could keep that finish right off a CNC screw machine, opposed to doing one final grind. And we were able to find the right tooling, right feeds and speeds, and how to drop and protect that part when it comes off the conveyor belt. And I believe we keep an RA finish of 45 to 50 to guarantee that once it's chrome plated, there'll be no defect showing.
There's your finish right there after it's chrome plated and laser marked. And then there's several parts. So this is all the Swiss machine machining right here. Obviously we have our tap wrenches, you got punches, there's some of your 196 parts, some of your other dial indicator parts, the bodies.
AGD4.
Yep. This is for a bore gauge here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For the vial, this is for a 98.
Correct.
All right. And then these?
That's an outside shelf for a high precision micrometer head. Accuracy is 50 millionths.
Wow.
0 to 2 inch range for that shell.
Your Swiss machines are making these guys too?
Yes.
Very cool. All right, there's an example of the raw stock that's going to go in. So there's a machine. That's what it looks like after it's machined. And then you get into the really, really tiny parts right here. Very, very small screws and spindles and other parts and pieces that go inside of your dial indicators. Very, very small stuff.
Even that little slot for the screwdriver to assemble it.
Yep. And you got these guys
here. We
here.
actually do have that machine up and running today.
All right. There's some more little small parts. So this is a great, oh, here's one that I get a lot of requests for right here. This is your number 670B ID indicator attachment. And I've used this many, many times in my videos for my work, and always have people ask, hey, what was that attachment? It's this right here, the 670B, made in Athol, Massachusetts. So you know where to get them. Order them from Starrett. Those are great tools. Everything here is great tools. But it's great seeing them being made right here.
Yeah, it is. It's you know, like we talked, you know, offline. You know, I grew up about a 10-minute walk from here, and I knew this was a tool company. But to me, as a kid, tools were a hammer and a screwdriver, because that's what was in my junk drawer at home, right? After almost 28 years here, tools are not just hammers and screwdrivers.
Right.
Well, you can take a look at this Swiss machine.
So they got one operating.
No, son, I guess he got a Davenport. I thought he did. All your cams and lobes and everything to make these machines run. It's amazing that the intelligence of the design of those equipment's way back in the day. There's some sort of locking.
That's the lock nut?
Yep. That's actually, yep, that's a lock for our protractor.
Okay.
Yep, for our turret protractor. Thing we do here, as you've seen, is we're using Starrett tools to measure our parts that make the Starrett tools. What we have here from Laguna Hills, Starrett Kinemetric vision system here that Spencer is setting up. He's going to write a program to do all the QC checks here. Looks like he has a head to our champ that will eventually go into a chamfer gauge. And one cool thing here at Starrett is we do a lot of interning. So a lot of college engineers, they'll come here and intern on their off days and to get some real life experience, and hopefully they stick with Starrett. Spencer, I believe you're from UMass Lowell?
Yeah, college intern.
College, yeah. I know I'm putting you on the spot. Anything about Starrett in your short time that you've been here?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun for 3 weeks, a lot of cool things.
Awesome, glad to hear it. So that's one of our future engineers, you know, not just a Starrett, but an American manufacturer and engineer right here. Going to school and getting real life experience. It's good stuff. Thank you, Spencer.
Thank you.
Thank you, plumber.
So Adam, what we got here is the Nomura that are machining our outside micrometer cells. Everything that I've explained, how we used to do it on the Acme, for those physical parts that we had just shown on that table, laying on that red felt. So this is the machine that's doing it, making them start to finish. That nice crisp diamond knurl.
Oh yeah.
OD, IDs to size, finishes there, and that's actually going to be a friction shell. And I'm guessing that's going to go to our electronic 762.1 0 to 2 inch micrometer head.
Okay. And that's being machined right here, right?
Yes, sir. Yep, dropped right over there in the parts catcher on the right.
Do you have a part here? Do we know what's...
Yep, let me see what it is. It's going to be a sleeve for, I think, that 696 is that tension gauge that we were looking at. Crankshaft tension gauge, I think.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's the part that's going to that. But yeah, definitely capture the machining. You want to get it there.
So many operations at once. So interesting to see that. I think it just dropped one down, but that's what we're seeing on that guy. So it's interesting to see the contrast between these old guys here, these machines operating, and your newer CNC machines.
So now we're walking into our indicator department. Really, this is what you're going to see in this building. We call this building 22. Is going to be, first is going to be indicators, machining their own parts on the left, assembling them on the right. We actually have two brand new motors here that hit the floor, I think 2 weeks ago. Just upgrading our technology from old, outdated Robo drills, which we still have a couple on the other side, which you will see. But here we got some a bridge. This is going to be a part of our bridge assembly for an indicator. It will be inside the indicator. The gear will sit right up in here. We'll actually drill these holes out, and there'll actually be some pressed rubies in there. So our indicators are just like a watch or a watchmaker. We have those rubies in there where the spirals will sit for so it doesn't wear and throw off any type of accuracy.
That's the tumbled finish right there too.
Yes. So you can see we actually looks like we are cutting some chips in here.
Oh, so it's okay. It's back there.
Yep. I'm gonna get just a little pallet exchanger. I'm not seeing this one loaded up yet.
So this one it'll rotate.
It should.
The operator, can they load this while it's machining? Awesome.
Yeah, and it should just swap. Yep.
Yeah,
Load, unload,
just
swap,
swaps it out while you're loading its machining.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
See if he's got this one cutting. I don't even know. No. I think we're still trying to picture this one up a little bit. But yeah, excited. You know, newer technology for us. And programmer has been living down here, getting these things set up. But here's some pretty cool automation right here. We like these collaborative robots. I know I've spoken about automation. Definitely it's not here to replace jobs, just to take the easier jobs, automate them, and let's use our employees for a more mindful use labor. So what we got here is we're actually just doing a little bend. This part is actually called an L, E-L-L, and that's part of the 196 indicator. That's actually going to sit on the top of the indicator. You're going to have your center point. That will eventually be fully slotted. Your center point will sit in there, and we'll ride that up and down. And that's what's controlling your needle movement and the accuracy. So once we assemble the tool, we check the accuracy on a Starrett 716 lead test mic head. And if it's off, then we would just go ahead and adjust the L, either position. Either tighten the left down a little bit more, tighten the right down, and just cock it a little bit, twist it a little bit. So that's going to position that center point with the needle to get an accurate reading off your dial.
So this machine here, this is a Kent, and it's machining the slot in it, correct?
Yeah, and it's doing that little bend as well. No, I apologize. It's doing just that slot, yes, sir.
All right, so on the right side of the arbor, they got like a slitting saw in there. The robot arm is actually loading this piece. It's loading it in there, and it's picking them up for right here, loading it in there, and it's making the cut. I know it's hard to see this. They have the protective cage here, but it's gonna grab hold of it, which is what it's doing now. All right, it just clamped to it, it's pulling it out, and I believe it's gonna drop it down right into the tube, right into the box. Very cool. So now it's going to go ahead and load another one, or I believe it's going to go ahead and load up, and then once it loads it, it's going to run through the cut cycle. It's really interesting seeing the more manual type machines like this being used for the automated processes. It just loaded it up, and now it's going to go through the cut cycle.
And that's where our focus is, you know, let's get some easy wins first. You know, so let's just automate some load and unload jobs.
Yeah.
Let's go take a look at RVing.
Okay. Oh yeah.
I'd love to introduce you to Tom Kurzmazik, 40 plus years here, amazing gentleman, amazing family, pillar in the community, the Kurzmaziks. Knows his hobbing inside and out. I could go on and on, but I'm going to let Tom speak on what he knows best. And this is Adam Booth, A-Bomb, social media influencer, own machine shop from Florida, huge Starrett fan. I just wanted to make that introduction.
Yeah.
So right now on spiral cut, please go to the 196 indicators.
Okay.
So what I'm doing right now, they're going in like this, okay? So they're going to be picked up, go into the collet, and then it's going to push into the receiver. And it's going to come out like this.
It's going to cut the spiral.
It's doing a spiral cut.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
Very cool. I just loaded it up.
Just loaded it up. It goes automatically. I just keep this full.
Okay.
And it keeps going.
Yeah, you can see them there at the top. So it picks it up and then sticks it down in the collet.
Correct. And then shoots into the receiver and cuts.
Now, what kind of cutting tool is actually machining?
It's not a tool. It's a wheel.
Okay.
It's a wheel that's cutting it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I can show you what it looks like. So this is a used wheel, but this is what's cutting the part.
All right.
So it'll come down to a size,
Yep.
which is in the machine. Then as this turns, this just cuts, and this keeps feeding in.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. Awesome stuff. I'm gonna give this one back to you.
Yep.
So I don't lose it.
Nope.
The little tiny parts, you go to those little indicators.
Yep. We got a 12-inch rack running over here.
All right.
So this is a long cut, as you can see. It'll go in. We got one over here. So they're not cut yet, okay?
Yep.
Now this is about ready to kick off when it hits that switch. But we're cutting from here to here, 12 inches, 12 and a half inch cut. All the way over.
Is that for multiple pieces or for one tool?
One tool.
Long range indicator.
Long range indicator.
Long travel indicator.
That's what I was gonna ask. Yep.
Yep. Dial, drop indicator.
That's gonna be your limit when it kicks out right there.
And this is what it looks like when it's done.
Okay.
You can see the cut right here to here.
Yep. That's really fine. I know you guys are it's gonna be a little difficult to show that, but there it is. There's the rack. And you cut right there.
Yep.
I'll give that back to you.
12 inch, yeah, it's for a heavy, excuse me, heavy duty AGV4. So
Wow.
large diameter.
Yeah.
Heavy
12-inch
duty.
travel.
Yeah.
All right, it just finished its cut cycle there.
And one pretty cool thing Tom has put together over the years is all the different parts he machines in this area. Just to give you an idea how small he's working with.
Yeah.
This
Lots
is
of-
my cut right here.
Look at all the little screws,
656.
gears, all the little parts and pieces that's going to go in the dial indicators.
Yeah. Yeah. Just look how small they are working
Yeah.
with that.
I'm fortunate to have a couple of the long range dial indicators. I believe I have a 4-inch. I definitely have a 2, a 4 to 6 indicators. Yeah.
And that is, we did just verify to the print that is for a 12-inch range.
12-inch. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not too common. You
I
don't really
was
see
gonna
that
say.
very much.
Yeah.
So we don't do a lot of these.
Okay. We'll just see a little bit,
Thank you,
a
sir.
few more of their machines that they're using to build the little parts.
It's all right.
We're just going to take a slide through here real quick. I just wanted to show you guys some of there's another hardage. There's a turret lathe right there. And you've got some of these multi-spindle drill presses still back here. Allen, it looks like you got a bank of about 4 still being put to work, using them to machine parts. They're beautiful machines. Look at the Athol vise. All right, I think we're going to head over to start seeing some indicators being assembled. There's some of their Robo drills still being used, making parts. These are some of the indicator parts right here that they're using or machining in the Robo drill.
Yep, that's going to be a bridge plate that will, that other part we saw will sit right onto that with some gears in it with the rubies pressed into it.
Okay, there's the fixture plate for the Robo drill.
So now we're walking into our indicator assembly department. Here we go. Hi. So what are we building here? Catalog 25? So this is actually, she's building the dial indicator right here. That's actually going to go inside a dial bore gauge on catalog 84. But it's the same concept. Indicator is an indicator. Oh, let me rephrase that.
Yep.
A drop indicator is a drop indicator, right? So right there, she's got a little gear train you can see. She's going to go ahead and mesh everything together with the spring. That's that bridge plate we just saw with the jewels. The top bridge to go over it. Craftsmanship right here.
Very nice.
So the internals of a drop indicator that will eventually live inside a bore gauge.
Yeah, okay. Very cool.
So here we are in our test indicator assembly, right? 3 types of indicators, right? I believe indicators were invented early 1900s by John Waltham down towards Boston, Massachusetts. He was a watchmaker. He needed a simple gauge to check some angles, so he invented the indicator, right? And from there, in the industry, it morphed from the drop indicator to the test or lever indicator and to the back plunger. So right now we're going to take a look at our test indicator, our 8
That's the 811.
811 right here.
And that's a 708.
And you can see some internals here. See all that mechanism working all in there? Mm-hmm. All handcrafted. This is swivel head too, for positioning to read.
That is nice.
That's a nice little feature.
Nice one.
On the 7 though, the 708, that's not, that's stationary. Fixed, yes. But you see Sue's a longtime employee for us. She knows her indicators. She's actually an assistant supervisor of the indicator department as well. In her free time, she loves to build so much, she comes back here and builds.
In your free time, you build as well, huh?
Yeah, I mean, what else could you do?
But once again, you see that same concept throughout every department. Not only are we manufacturing the parts, we're assembling them into a finished tool, but we're using our own tools to gauge and check. So right there, some of those high accurate micrometer heads. That's a 468 where you can get dual reading off the red and the black. 50 millionths accurate.
Yeah.
50 millionths accurate right here. And she's gonna go ahead and test her indicator before she passes it on.
Yep.
Okay.
So a tool that's 13 years old, right? It lasted 13 years out in the field. The end user obviously doesn't want to buy a new one,
No.
so he can send it back in here. We'll refurbish it and make it brand new.
Yeah, get it
Absolutely.
tuned up,
Yeah,
Get some nice, fresh, shiny parts.
nice little feature that Starrett offers.
Looks like in 2010.
Okay.
So I'm using 2010's parts in 2023 and trying to make everybody play nice together.
Right.
Yes. Everybody knows the numbers. No, I know all the numbers, but I get them messed up in my head because I know too many. That's a, wow. This is a nature of the job.
This is the last word, the Starrett last word indicator right there.
Another test indicator of ours.
Yep.
So let's go take a look at some back plunger indicators and wrap
Okay.
up indicators.
All right.
Sue, thank you so much.
Good stuff.
welcome.
You are
Thank
the
you for
best.
sharing it with us.
You
We
are the
appreciate
best. You are
that.
the best. Thank you.
These are some more of the last word indicators going together.
711s. I'm just doing a sub-assembly, putting
Okay.
screws into the bodies.
All right.
So my guess is the body's the same across the variations. So we just sub-assemble a bunch of bodies, pull out the bodies, and then you can make it into what you want.
Yeah,
What,
okay.
What style?
So this is going to be some of your parts for the 196.
Yes. Yep.
All right.
You got your bridge assembly, which we'll see. You got your little spring gears in there. Yep. We'll see some of those in action.
The 196 cell.
So right here, so Kayla, she's been with the company for a few years. 6 years. Wow, I don't
6
know.
years.
I don't know where the time goes. But yeah, so she's assembling a 196, our back plunger indicator, or as we like to say, the granddaddy of them all.
I'm just going to squeeze right in here and just
If you
try
need
to.
to, you can move.
Oh, no, this is good. Just try to get a little better shot of what you're doing here.
Right now, I'm just lining up the, making sure it's straight. Because you don't want it to be off.
Press it on.
Yep, and then you gotta straighten.
Oh,
Make
okay.
sure the hand is like nice and straight and not bendy.
I could see when you pressed it on, it was slightly bent a little.
Yep. It happens. I just use my fingers to get it on the zoom. Makes it easier.
Crimping the sides to secure the dial, and
Okay.
also give some grabbing for the outer case that
Yeah, I'm not very good
Kayla's gonna put on right now.
I'm not very good at
You just do your thing. We're just watching you and observing. Tim does a good job of doing a lot of our explanations.
So she'll clean the inside,
Okay.
make sure there's no smudges on that white face dial. She'll, blow out the crystal or wipe the crystal. Yep. Make sure when she puts that on, there's not dust or dirt that would get trapped and would show up against the white dial.
fingerprints.
And it's just a little hand press on, and she'll make sure it rotates. Yep. And then she'll go ahead and test it with a Starrett 716.
We always go back 5 lines.
Okay.
And always make sure it lines up with the zero. So about 25.
Checking every 25 thousandths, I believe.
Yep.
And that's is that 100 thousandths range? 200 thousandths? I should know that off the top of my head. Shame on me.
I don't remember what it is myself.
Might be 200 thou.
200 thou.
Right.
Yep.
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 10th reading. And one
Yep.
cool thing to just point out is, all right, so here's that little press, but look what it's made of. It's an old micrometer forge.
Right.
That we go ahead and made all of our presses out of back
Yeah.
in the day. Yeah, that would have became a micrometer someday.
Very nice. Thanks for sharing that with us. We appreciate it.
Yep, so we are gonna start to head into the heart of the factory here in Athol for the Ellis Starrett Company. This company started 1880. Actually, if you were to look outside here, this
There-
white building was the original Starrett on the left. And
That's the museum right there.
yes, in the red building. And early 1900s, right? Late 1800s, early 1900s, the heart of the Industrial Revolution. Manufacturing was booming, if we all know our history, so Starrett had to expand, and eventually have expanded the headquarters here in Athol to 550,000 square feet
Yeah.
of manufacturing space. And what we're going to do now is head into the heart of the factory, and we're actually going to go through a tunnel underground. We're actually going to be underground right where we are.
Okay. So right here.
Yep,
And
is
we're
where
gonna
we're
go.
gonna be.
We're headed over there to that building.
Yeah, actually, straight at 12 o'clock to you. Yeah.
Okay, some more over there.
Yep.
So we're going to go underneath there, and then there's going to be some great opportunities to see some beautiful shots of the river too.
Yeah.
Because you do have a hydroelectric dam here as well, right?
We do.
That Starrett owns,
Yes.
and they use it to generate some of the power used here at the plant,
Yeah,
right?
and I believe it's about a third of the power that generates for us. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're
Yep.
going to go.
Yeah, let's go underground.
And I haven't shown a lot of this, but walking through the buildings and seeing the original structure, the stairways and everything, isn't
Elevators.
it great, Ben? It's great. I mean, look at the doors you have the counterweights, you have some of the sliding, doors.
And we have elevators everywhere to move.
Yeah.
Just how the building was set up back in the day to move work up and down.
Right. So let's go down into the tunnel. Is this another workroom here?
Yeah, so come on in. So this is our plumbing shop.
Oh, plumbing shop. So it just supports the factory.
We do. We have our own plumbers here, our own millwrights, our own electricians, and our own carpenters here to support the daily needs of the factory.
Yeah, you got rubber hose there. Lots of material. Looks like copper pipe. And Abby's pointing out another Starrett vise. Look at that. They're used everywhere. This is the basement, right?
Yeah.
That's the street level right there.
Just where we were standing. Yep, the white building in the museum.
Yeah, okay. So there's a pipe threader. So now we'll go down into the tunnel. Looks like they got a tool crib over there, or maybe parts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is always pretty neat.
That comes from the first floor there
Yes, it does. Yes.
and down. And then here's our underground tunnel.
And designed for to move work through here. So all day long we have trucks beeping and flashing lights coming through here, moving work. And you'll definitely see on the right, A-bomb. I'll let you take that over.
Yeah, so check out the view right here. The Miller's River. It's cool. And there's another view here too, right?
There is.
It's a little harder to see, but you can see the river down there as well.
And usually this time of the year we have a great blue heron that will stay right on that log and try to find some lunch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he'll hang out there most of the day.
Nice.
So we do get to see some wildlife here in New England. It's pretty cool. So coming up to the end of the tunnel, the underground, we are now across the street and we're entering our tumbling department, or another name for that would be mass finishing. So basically we have three basic operations for tumbling here. We have a cut down, which is basically a part spin machine, so it's got some burrs on it, so on and so forth. So we go ahead and put it into our tumbling baths with some media, which is ceramic, and it'll just go ahead and float around, which we'll see, and then we'll cut down those burrs. From there, that part may go off to a secondary machine op. So we're going to turn a part of it to a smaller diameter. So now you have two different steel surfaces. So it would come back to tumbling for a blend. Once again, that media, that ceramic, would go ahead and blend. We'll go ahead and blend those surfaces together. And from there, if the part requires a bright finish, it would go back into a different type of ceramic media and give it a bright finish, which we'll see some examples.
Some of the tools that I thought were probably hand polished in some way are actually tumbled in the ceramic, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I learned. I thought it might have been buffed on a buffer, but no, they're tumbled.
I mean, some are buffed and polished, but the majority of them, yeah. And I can see how a person could mistake that for a polish, but no, the tumbling. And tumbling can be a long process. Some of the stuff could tumble for 18 hours.
Oh, wow.
Just to
Okay.
go ahead and knock down that burr to get that brightness we're looking for.
And that makes sense. You're not just going to throw it in there for an hour and expect it to be polished. It's going to be tumbling
It's gonna-
overnight and all day long. Yeah. Another cool thing that we'll point out is all throughout the factory, you're going to see these wooden crates, and you see like these guys over here, you see how dark they are. They've been around for decades, being used over and over and over again.
Yep.
So this is going to be some of your tap wrenches, the number 91, correct?
Yep, correct.
That looks like maybe a 91C.
It is. Yep.
Okay.
So this looks like it's already been through a cut down and a blend tumble, and it's sitting here for a brighten. I mean, that does look bright, but I think they're going to go ahead and hit it again and try to get that a little bit brighter as well.
Yeah. So those will be tumbled, polished in the end. And then these look like some indicator bodies.
Yeah,
indicator
I think that's gonna
parts.
be a case for our back plunger 196.
Okay.
I believe that's what that's going to be.
And we're going to get to see a lot of the 196 today. I'm just taking a peek since we're here and I see this
Absolutely.
stuff. Those are more parts for the 196. So the bodies are all made out of brass, huh?
For the anti-mag.
Okay.
Yep.
196 back plunge. We're going to get to see a lot of that today. And I guess
like
they're
some
just storing
plugs.
these parts here.
Yeah,
for now.
probably just waiting for them to move. Yep. That looks like I believe that's going to be actually a plug. That looks like that's going to hold a level in there.
Okay.
And actually, this would be the mating part to plug it.
Okay.
That would sit on a 98 level, which we'll see some of those today.
Oh yeah, we're going to get to see the levels.
These actually is just some hex tubing that we purchased from a vendor. and we're actually going to just do a tumble on it to smooth it out a little bit and actually dull this a little bit. And that's going to be the handle to one of our pin vices.
Nice. Okay.
Looks like we got a leg here, right, for a divider or caliper.
Yep.
Yep. So we're going to go ahead and tumble that. You can see the discoloration. Obviously, that's been heat treated. Right? Your tool's got to last a lifetime, and the Starrett tools do.
Really good stuff to see. I mean, when you walk through the plant, you get to catch things like
And
this.
speaking of, you know, trying to catch things, here we are looking at parts, and who's coming through?
Adam,
Doug
how are you?
Starrett.
Good to see you
Hey,
again.
it's great to see you.
Oh man, it's great to see you again. Thanks for having us here, man.
Well,
This
hey,
is-
it's my pleasure to have you here, and I hope everybody's taking good care of you in the plant.
Oh, they've been great. Everybody's jumping right in and wanting to be helpful and talk about their job and what it is they're doing, the parts that they're making. And man, it's so cool coming through here and seeing the history of this place.
Well, also you get to talk to some people that have a lot of pride in what they do here.
Yeah.
And as I told you, we're the last of the Mohegans left in the United States
Yep,
doing
that's
what
right.
we do.
Yep.
So we're pretty pleased about that.
Well, we really appreciate being here, letting us come in and check out the factory, man. We're trying to peek in all the nooks and crannies and seeing the parts being made and everything, all the processes. It's really cool.
Any questions, you're with the right guy with Tim Cucci.
Oh, yeah.
all right? And you know the history behind Tim. He started here as a young boy.
Yep.
And I can tell you right now, he was a master mechanic and a craftsman at his trade.
Yeah.
And sky was the limit. And people have to understand that about manufacturing today. You know, you come in, you have an entry-level position, and it opens up a whole world of opportunities for the individual. And we're really proud of what we've done with the individuals and people here.
Yeah.
It's one big family.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've learned and really appreciated about Starrett is that anybody can come here and they have an opportunity to start from not knowing anything about a micrometer and ended up, you know, knowing everything there is about all of the tools that you guys make.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's a big job too. But
It is.
It's interesting every day, and I don't think anybody that comes to work here and applies himself will have a dull moment the
Right.
whole time they're here in their career. So it's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I wanted to catch up to you, make sure everything was
Okay.
going well, and
going
if you
great.
got any questions, make sure you ask before you leave, and we're
Okay.
happy to. We're an open book as far as that goes.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate it.
All
So
right, thanks.
we're loving the tour.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right.
But it's funny, Adam, as you're looking at the different parts that have already been tumbled and getting ready to move on to the next destination. I believe the comment I heard from you was, yeah, just walking through the factory and look around, you never know what you're going to find. Next thing you know, we got the president, CEO, fifth generation, Doug Starrett, coming up behind us to talk to us. And it's not uncommon that you will see Doug walking throughout the factory, checking in with the employees to see how their day's going and how their job and career is going. And Doug said it well, we are a family here. We are a Starrett family.
Yeah, and that was great. We actually got to just kind of stand here and have a good 10-minute conversation with Doug, and I really, really appreciated that, getting to talk to him one-on-one, you know.
Very personable he is.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy. So, we're ready to move on?
Yeah, we're gonna go. So we talked about what tumbling is. So now we're just gonna see some examples of tumbling.
Right, okay.
Yep.
So we're gonna go into the tumbling department here, and it is gonna be loud in here, but we're gonna get to see some great stuff. You guys are gonna get to see how some of the parts are finished in here in the tumblers. You gotta watch our step.
We got some aluminum here. To be honest with you, I'm not quite sure what this goes to, but it is some aluminum here that looks like they're just doing a little cut down to take off all the burrs. You can see how all the edges are being rounded over, so you're not getting cut.
Those are the V blocks for the little giant machinist jack. Those are parts for the little giant machinist jacks in there. The V blocks.
you want, riser for the jack. Yeah.
Okay.
Right in my other hand. Looks like we got some lugs here for a divider, caliper, or a clammo. This is right here.
Yeah. So this is for, that's going to be a caliper, a spring caliper.
Yes, you got to roll. Yep, the other rag will come down here. Yep, we're checking OD. Yep.
This is not the final polish, is it?
No, this is just doing a blend,
Okay.
smoothing everything down, and the final couple would be a brighten.
Okay.
And we'll show some examples over there.
Okay.
See how you got some sharp edges here on the non-tumble. And then you can see here where it's been blended, cut down, blended, and brightened. It's got that nice shine to it.
Yep.
Nice rounded over corners, so you're not going to cut yourself.
These are going to be your firm joint calipers here, non-finished and finished. Feeler gauge,
Yep.
spring caliper, and then there's the tap wrench
sir.
right there. So I saw some tap wrenches right here.
Yeah, so these are getting ready to go in. Looks like that's already had its cut down and blend, so I'm saying that's going to go in for the brighten polish now.
Okay.
The finished tumble.
This looks like the 91D, I believe.
Yeah, it is. Yes, sir.
Yep,
You are
there you go.
correct.
All right, so there's your tap wrenches. And then these look like some snugs for
Yep.
your indicator rods.
Yeah, some snugs, definitely a different attachment for an indicator. Anyway, we dried everything in this corn cob right here. So we'll put some parts in here, and it'll dry it all, and then we'll fish out the parts.
Okay. Yep.
I spent a lot of time in this on the apprenticeship program. Most of the apprentices spent 6 weeks on it.
Right now we're in our milling department, mechanical milling, not CNC milling here. Where you got your conventional milling, your Klein milling, you know, you can have your gang cutters and everything in. I believe we're going to go look at some 98 levels being milled. And I'm sure if you've seen throughout the factory, you see our American pride, right? You see American flags everywhere. The one thing I really do want to impress upon is that over about 2,500 precision hand tools the Starrett Company manufactures. And approximately 90% of those are manufactured parts and finished tool assemblies right here in Athol, Massachusetts. So we are indeed an American manufacturer. We're the last of the dial slide caliper, our catalog 120. If you want a dial slide caliper made in America, you can only come to the Starrett Company for that. And there's some other tools along that, but I don't want to get carried away. But the point here is Starrett is fully integrated factory here, 550,000 square feet of manufacturing space, American manufacturing at its best, heart and soul right here in New England. So let's go take a look at some levels.
All right. So We walked through here yesterday and we saw the castings for the 98 levels. Most of us call those machinist levels or mechanic, level, high precision levels. And they had some of the raw castings. We may be able to get to see some of those. And they have some of the older vintage manual machines over here that are machining those cast iron bodies, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're going to see some machines like Kearney and Trecker in here.
Awesome.
Cincinnati.
So Ricky is our expert miller. Plenty of years of experience. How many years have you been here, Ricky? 20, 28?
28 years.
So I think Ricky and I came in 94, 95. Yeah, and so he's our master miller. And as Adam was saying, there's some our 98s. That looks like that might be an 8.
98 8.
Yep.
Yep, 8-inch machinist level.
Yeah.
So what are you going to be doing right here?
Milling the form tool.
So that's your form tool. You're going to be machining the involute.
And I just
Yeah,
doing the
the form in the bottom, like the V in the bottom of the body there.
Right here in
Can we see you do this? The Kearney and Trecker milling machine, model M24. It's fantastic seeing these old machines still being used to machine parts. That is great. We all have these levels. We all have these in our box. We all use them. It is great getting to see where they're being made and how they're made. All right, now you can see the V on the bottom of the vise body taking its shape from the milling cutters. All right, looks like it's finished up. There we go.
Make it a little warm.
Oh yeah. So at this point, is this surface here finished?
No, they brush it upstairs and get it
Okay, so it'll be like a polish.
polished finish. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. But obviously it's going to go on to some other operations
Yep.
to finish it, or maybe they've already done some drilling and tapping.
Drill and tapping, but they'll assemble and put the glass in. And
Yeah, okay. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. So let's just take a quick walk through so you guys can see the manual machines here in a little bit more depth. As I said, they've got a lot of the old Kearney and Trecker milling machines here, and they set these guys up for doing operations just like you saw in that vise. These are perfect machines that you can put to work machining these castings. This right here, I believe, is a number 64, a number 64 rule holder, so it holds the rule at 90 degrees to the surface right there. And I did not see these yesterday. Oh, here you go. That's going to be your Starrett number 64 rule holder. I apologize if I got the number wrong, but I think it is the 64. So comes in as a casting. They bring it down here to the manual department and do some first, second ops on them to get those milled before they go on to grinding and assembly. All right, this one, I can't remember what they're doing here. They got a couple slit and saw set up for this operation here. Okay, this one we saw yesterday. What they were doing is they're machining the individual leads for a thread pitch gauge, all right? It was 11.5. So you can see this one right there is the 11.5, and they get stacked I believe they get stacked in rows of 10 or so, and then they get clamped into the vise here and runs across, and the form cutter cuts it for the thread pitch. Carney and Trekker over there, that's an older one. And then the Cincinnati. I love these old mills, but we don't often get to see these kind of mills, but this is a great example of why these types of machines were built, what they were used for, and what they can be used for. High production environments like here at Starrett. Cincinnati, I'm not sure, this one may be Cincinnati. And then we're gonna, so right in here is the actual tool room for the tools, the cutters, the vices, the fixtures, for all of the manual milling machines that are out here. We'll just take a quick spin through so we can see some of the cutters. They have all of their, in the tool room is where they will send these cutters up to be sharpened or reground if needed for whatever application that they're used for. You can see that they're stacked up to be kept together for whatever application that they're being used for. Form cutters. So these guys right here are for the 98 levels. I can tell just by the shape of the cutter right there. I wish you guys could smell this room. It just smells like oil and cutting tools in here. It is awesome. And notice the floor in here. You've got the ingrained boards stood up for the floor, creating a nice solid wood surface. And check out the high helix slab mill right there. Just walking through, noticing some more of the parts right here. That's for the protractor, right?
Yep, so that's already been milled across. Yep.
All right. Just some other random parts that you might see.
That's gonna be for a hole gauge.
Okay.
Yep. There you go. Go ahead and mill a slot in it. It gives it a little spring. You go ahead and measure a ID of a hole.
Okay.
And you got some blocks here for our 657 mag blocks.
Look at here.
Yeah, vernier
These are
jaw.
for your vernier jaws right there, the sliding jaw.
Yep.
These are going to be, this is for a clamp right here.
Yeah, a pulse holder for a pulse. Yep. Indicator. So we're gonna go ahead and walk into our punch cell here. 248s. You know, we got a variety of you know, steel, and we actually have brass punches for soft work. You can see a nice crisp knurl here.
Oh yeah, that is
the Starrett brand catalog number. And we're actually going to go ahead and look at a roll stamp that go ahead and put our trademark on.
That was a question that I had for Tim. I was just curious of how that marking was put in there on the radius of the tool there. So we're going to
Martin stamper. Yep, so just watch him go ahead and throw a punch in there. You can see he's got his stop in the back.
Okay. So you're working on the brass punches too?
Yeah, I'm doing brass punches.
Okay. Just as simple as that.
Just as simple as
It just rolls across the surface there.
Yep, just a roll stamp.
Put it one in, stamp it, pull it out, next one in, keep on going. Every once in a while, check to make sure the stamp come out good. Yeah.
All right. That's a 1/16 diameter punch. Very cool.
Thank you, sir.